Okay, ladies, imagine if you could look into the mirror and love the way you looked. You loved your face with no makeup on. Well, that's the goal of our next guest. It is Malissa LaRoche with True Beauty Aesthetics.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
And now we would like to welcome to the Charleston Women Podcast, Malissa LaRoche from True Beauty Aesthetics. Malissa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I think your services are, I'm not even going to say needed, I'm going to say wanted by every woman who is listening right now. Tell me a little bit more about what it is. What is True Beauty Aesthetics?
So my background is 18 years of oculofacial surgery, so facial plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery, along with aesthetics. And I just felt the need I read a book called Captivating, and there was this quote in there that just sat in my heart. I literally had it on a sticky on my bathroom mirror for a year, and it said, "A woman of true beauty offers others the grace to be, but the room to become." And it just stuck in my heart, and I kept thinking, that is it. Like, I really, truly believe that these faces have this unique beauty, but there might be something that they dislike that's holding them back. And we have room for that. And those things are fixable. And what I do is look at your unique anatomy and figure out exactly how to refresh you, turn the clock back, or just alter some little thing that you find bothersome.
Right. Now, you have such a unique background being in the facial surgery arena for so many years. That really makes you different, right? When someone says, just make me look younger, you bring a different, more educated eye to the table, if you will.
Absolutely. I do feel like it is important that you know all the layers of the face, exactly what's happening underneath there and where the root cause is. I have people come in and they'll say, I hate this line. And this line is the symptom of a descent up here, and that's not something people understand. And I'll say, I can fix that. And here's how. It might not be what you're expecting. Yeah. I'm not just going to put a little something in it. It needs to be addressed at its root cause.
Okay. At what age, Melissa, do we start to fall apart? Do we start melting? When does that start?
So we all start to lose bone in our face in our 30s.
We lose bone. I thought it was collagen.
Yes.
Where does the bone go? My mind is blown.
Your body is constantly resorbing bone and rebuilding bone, and the front of the cheek as well as the arch of the cheek are typically first, as well as the upper jaw. And so a lot of the things we see, these lines, these marionette lines, are really from just normal aging and bone loss. And luckily we have long-term fillers now that can make up for those things. So you can address it at its root and put things back where they belong.
Okay. I love this. What can we go through, like some of your services?
Sure.
I imagine you offer Botox. Everyone's familiar with that. But what are some of the different things when, a mid-40s woman comes in and says, like, I don't know exactly what I need, but I want to refresh. What would you say?
Well, I love to sit down with people and have a consultation anyway and just say, what are your expectations? What do you want to address? What's important to you? What do you not like? So we do free consultations as well. But we have 2 PAs here and 2 estheticians. So my counterpart PA is not here today, but she has 10 years of plastic surgery experience as well. So we bring a lot of years to the table. We both do injectables, neuromodulators, so Botox and Daxify. We do a range of fillers from the deep ones to the superficial ones. She also does weight loss with semaglutide. She is big into nutrition. Both of us are very big on, we grow our own food and eat close to the land. So we kind of bring a different nutritional perspective there. And we have 2 estheticians who do Diamond Glow facials, which are amazing. They do chemical peels, facials, a range of waxing services, and then brows and lashes.
Okay. Wow. You do a lot of different things. You can totally transform us. What would
we
you
each have a toolbox.
What would you say for someone who is nervous? Maybe it's her first time for Botox. Let's start with Botox. For never done Botox, what would you say to that person?
Botox is the thing that all the men are afraid of. So they'll come in and say,
Oh, that's interesting.
I can't tell my husband I'm doing it. He thinks I'm going to look weird. Botox is really not going to make you look weird.
Yeah.
It just stops movement of a muscle, and we put it in very precise areas.
Yeah.
Prior to my plastic surgery experience, I actually have years of neurology experience, and we've had it forever for all sorts of neurological things. Very safe, very tried and true. And when it's put in the right place, it doesn't make anything look weird. It just makes you look like you have this perfect skin that has no wrinkles.
Yeah. Big fan of that.
Yep.
We all love Botox. Let's talk about fillers though, because Botox is like the gateway drug, if you will, to start to the refresh.
Well
then
said.
People kind of move into fillers. What would you say for someone who's nervous about that? And where kind of do you start? Where are the most common areas?
So I almost always start where you and I talked about earlier and putting back the structural things that are being resorbed over time. To me, I always tell my patients that's building the house, and doing lips or doing something like that is painting a wall. So we really have to make sure your structure is in balance. I think of faces in 3 parts. So we have an upper third, a middle third, and a lower third. And we want to make sure those are balanced. So whatever that means for you and your anatomy and how you're aging. So I address the structural things first, and then we paint the wall.
I've never heard someone put it that way, but I certainly love it. Yeah. What made you said, plastic surgery, neurology, like what made you get into this field? Back when you were a little girl, how did you say, that's what I want to do with my life?
That is really funny. I never would have said that as a little girl. Actually, I'm a total tomboy. But I spent my first few years in neurology and rehab medicine, and they're very rewarding, but they're also very heavy. And you're giving a lot of people news that you have something that I can't fix, you know? And so Charleston is home. I grew up here and my dad was ill, and I moved back to Charleston to work. And the only job available was neuro-ophthalmology. Which came with a side of that oculofacial surgery. So I was doing both. And I just realized how rewarding it is to be able to say, I can fix that. Bye. Call me if you need me. Instead of you have a chronic illness that is not going away. So, and plus I think being a bit of a tomboy and I'm not much of a makeup person, you will find me in scrubs or gym clothes. I think it just gives me a different perspective. I want you to look in the mirror and love what you see with no makeup on. That is my goal. I want you to have skin that you love, that glows, a facial structure that looks balanced and age appropriate, if not a little younger, and with nothing to enhance it. That's what I strive for. You want women to look in the mirror and love themselves without makeup on. Correct. Simply put. I love it. I love it so much. I want to ask, you mentioned the nutrition. If people are listening to this, they can't see you, but she's beautiful. She's got glowing skin. How much of that is what we eat too? I just want to throw obviously you can enhance things, but I know a lot of beauty comes from within. So are you a big believer in that? I really am. I struggled with acne, believe it or not, all through college. Really? And I know it's not true for everyone, but it was a food issue for me. And so I did a full elimination diet and realized that I could control those things. I really could fix my own face by eliminating certain things out of my diet. And that led me down a long journey of gardening, growing my own food. And I actually hunt and eat as much wild game as possible as well. Wow. You really are interesting. Yeah. I think that the closer you eat to, as far as meat goes, especially as long as eating something that eats what it's supposed to out in the wild is always healthier than something that's been raised conventionally. I agree with that. Melissa, I always like asking busy, successful entrepreneurs like yourself, how do you start your day? Are you someone who wakes up to a cup of coffee? Do you meditate? Do you go outside, check on your veggies? What is going to set you up for success each and every morning? Well, I drive carpool.
I understand that.
And then I come back for coffee, and I always go outside for a bit of time. I'm a firm believer in just resetting your clock and getting a little bit of morning sunlight. And then I do have a bit of quiet time as well before I start my day at the office.
Yeah. And then when you do start your day at the office, for someone listening who would like that free consultation, wants to book, when do you open? What hours?
We are here. We open at 9, and what time we close depends on whether it's volleyball season.
I also feel that. I love that you have the freedom to do that too.
Yes, I coach volleyball at Moultrie. And so when season's in, I'm done here at 3. But other than that, it's a little more flexible, and we're here till 4:30.
Okay. And I don't think we said your address. Tell our listeners and viewers where they can find you in Mount Pleasant.
You can find us at 1037 Chuck Dolly. We're in building D, which is the second building on the right. And it's an awesome little space. I wish I could show it to you. It's warm and cozy, and we love our people. We really do. This is the best life I couldn't even have imagined.
Malissa, how you mentioned before, it's much better instead of, bad news when you're working with a doctor to make women feel good. What do your clients say after they have, the few little tweaks by you? It's got to be rewarding for them to walk away feeling so much more confident.
I get the sweetest notes, and I am a crier. So I will, I'll get one, and it's just like, that thing bothered me forever. I had the sweetest lady on the planet, and she has this wrinkle in her chin that drives her crazy. And I didn't understand the weight of it for her until she wrote me this note. And she was like, I was avoiding having lunch with my friends because I thought everyone was staring at it. And now I'm going to go see all my friends tomorrow. Thank you for giving me that confidence back. That, I can't tell you what that does for my heart. I mean, it's just so rewarding. And so many things are fixable. They'll bring me this odd little thing, and I'm like, I see that asymmetry. We can totally address that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you feel like as women, we are our own worst critics? What we see in the mirror and hate sometimes, yes, you can fix, but it's something minor that people actually probably really don't notice.
It is so interesting. And I'm going to hop down a different rabbit hole, but sometimes we're our own worst critics, and sometimes our friends are a little tough on us. Like I'll have people come in here routinely and say, all my friends notice this crack right here. And I'm like, I think you're awesome. Why are they looking at that?
Yeah.
So I would say, I wish that women were kinder to each other. And I certainly wish they were kinder to themselves.
Yeah.
And no one on the planet needs to own a 10X mirror. I would like to smash all of those. I really would. If you have to magnify it, no one can see it.
That's my takeaway. No 10 years. You don't need them. You don't need them. Now I forget I was going to ask you because you cracked me up. Oh, new technology. I love, there's always, you said there's Botox, and what's the other one called?
Daxxify is the newest neuromodulator on the market.
So let's go back to that really quickly just to explain the difference, and then follow up with if there's anything, whether it be filler, whatever, that's new that you think is really cool and a game changer.
Gotcha. I think Daxxify is really the same molecule as Botox, but it's processed in a different way. There is a formulation of it when you use a higher dose of it that is supposed to last double the length of time. I haven't had my hands on it long enough to confirm that, but that's what the studies show. It also kicks in sooner than Botox.
Is it more expensive?
The normal dosing is the same. The double dosing is a bit more expensive, yes. Game changers for me, one is Voluma, the filler that I was talking about that makes up for the bone loss in the cheeks. It has been just revolutionary. It makes us able to fix all sorts of asymmetries and age-related volume loss that we couldn't when I first started doing this years and years ago. There's also a new filler on the market called Redensity that I love that can be used very, very, very shallow in the skin. And I love its flexibility. So you can literally just paint it into lines. My most recent game changer is Skin Vive. Have you heard about Skin Vive yet?
But I'm booking immediately when we're done with this podcast. So you keep talking.
It is so fun. So Skin Vive is actually an injectable hyaluronic acid that is being marketed as like injectable moisturizer.
Huh.
So you literally put it very shallow in the skin and it gives you this glow that is unbelievable. The thing that I found, it just came out last fall, is that it also is amazing as a skin support. So the little fine lines, especially like these from sleeping, it's like having a magic eraser. And I just did my dear friend's chest lines from sleeping and they look amazing. So that's my current favorite.
All right. I love it. We all need to go see you to
Come see us.
all of this magic to happen. What is the best way? Should we go to the website? Should we give you a call? I know you're on Facebook and Instagram as well. What do you recommend?
You can absolutely call us directly. Our phone number is 843-790-2034. And we do a lot of our estheticians you can book online. So any facials or skincare consults, you can book those online. Injectables have to be booked through calling us.
Okay. All right, Melissa, anything that I forgot that you would like to add?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah. Nothing. What's next for you guys?
Oh gosh, we need more space if we're going to do anything more.
Yeah. You're too popular.
Well, it's just, it snowballs and people send their friends, which is my greatest compliment.
Yeah.
And now we have, 2 injectors here. Rebecca is very similar to me. I mean, we are it was absolutely divine intervention that put us together. Yeah. She and I have this same take on all the nutritional things that we were talking about and just our perspective on looking good with no makeup on.
Yep. Meant to be. Well, Melissa, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you and talking to you today. It is True Beauty Aesthetics. You can call 790-2034 or go to truebeautysc.com. Also follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Melissa, thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You have been listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.